Okay, so what we're going to do for the next couple days is called conic sections. And the reason it's called conic sections is because if you take a cone, this is a cone. Look at that. I spent all last night whittling this. I did. How do you know I didn't? I can't believe you're doubting me.
I'm not.
Whatever. Okay, so this is the cone. And so all of the things we're going to do, we can get from a section of the cone. And today we're going to do circles. So if I cut perpendicular to the base, if I cut straight across, then I get a circle. Okay? And that's what we're going to do. We're going to start with the circle. If we cut perpendicular to the base, you get a circle. Somebody give Cardarius something to write with so we can start.
Oh no, I'm saying sorry. She threw it.
You're the one who doesn't have one.
Okay, look. All y'all.
Okay. A circle, it's a set of points that's a fixed distance called the radius from the center. The equation of the circle is based on the distance formula, which we can derive, but we are not going to do at this time. You're welcome. So, what we are going to do, though, is the standard form of the circle, which we've already done, right? We know that the circle has h and k for the center and a radius r. So standard form of the circle So this is in standard form. If we put this if we put it with the center and the radius squared, it's standard form. General form is if I multiply this out. And if I multiply this out, I'm going to get x squared Okay, so this is in standard form. This is in general form. And general form means I multiplied this out, and I got rid of the parentheses. So the d and the e are just numbers that are in front of the x and the y, and the f is a constant. But what I want you to see is in general form, the x squared and the y squared, they don't have a number in front of it. Okay, we can't have a number in front of it. It has to be x squared and y squared by itself. So on the next one, you're not. Graph the center. So the center of this circle is -2, 5, and the radius is 3. No, they hung up.
What?
I don't know. I don't know who it was. All right. So if I look at the next one, I have 4x squared plus 4y squared equals 128.
But you can have a 4 in front of it, so you got to take it right off.
I can't have the 4, right? I have to have the x squared and y squared by itself. So if I divide straight through, I'm going to get x squared plus y squared equals 32. So what's the center of this circle? 0, 0.
No.
Yes. And the radius is the square root of 32, right? So the square root of 32 is about 5.6. So
He said, yo. He said 7. And he's like, yo.
I missed. Woo. All right. I hope your circle looks better than mine.
My circle looks like that.
Okay. So for the next one, if I'm given the center and the radius and I want to write it in standard form, so that means I want to write it with the center included. So I'm going to get I do have map time. Wait, no, I don't have map time today. I don't. Okay. Can we not be mad? Let's not be mad. We're all okay. All right. So if I'm going to write this one in standard form, this is 0, right? This is my H. Say that again. It is. Yes, because it's minus in the formula. Okay, so I want to take 2 square roots of 3 times 2 square roots of 3. So 2 times 2 gives me 4, and the square root of 3 times the square root of 3 is 3. So 4 times 3 is the square root of 3 times the square root of 3 is 3. Okay. Okay, so this time I'm given the center and it passes through -2, 6. If I want to write it in standard form, I have the center, but what do I not have? I don't have the radius, so I have to find the radius. So if this is my H, and this is my K, and this is X, and this is Y, I'm going to do -2. Oh, wait, this is, yeah, it's not right. Hang on. Anna, do you need another paper? That's sad. Yeah. Pencil. We're in math class. Okay.
Who needs a new paper?
If it goes through -2, 6, and then the center's at -6, 3, what if you subtract the 3 and 6 to find the radius? I mean, the x.
So if it goes through -6, 3, and then -2, 6. So, well, what is the radius? You have to use the distance formula to do it.
I do it.
Or you could just fill in this formula. So, I just filled this in. Yes.
It's 5?
It's 5.
I got it.
So what's minus a minus?
It's positive, so it's -4.
-2 plus 6 is -4 squared is 16.
No, it's +4.
Well, either one. They're both 16. And then 6 minus 3 squared is 9. 16 plus 9 is 25, which makes the radius
The reason why I got it wrong is because
5.
in the beginning you put -2, and I was like,
I fixed
I know,
it. So once I have the radius, Now I can do standard form. I don't.
She does not.
I don't know. Okay. So this is standard form. Well, it's cold in here all the time. I know. So we have standard form. How do I get to general form?
X squared plus y squared plus 6x minus
Okay, everybody multiply.
We get x squared plus 36.
What's the SF?
Standard form and general form.
So you want to like figure it out.
Yeah.
But if it's two opposites, you can't.
It's 36 plus 9.
What?
36 plus 9. No.
36 plus 9?
Yeah.
25. You said 42. You said she.
Yeah, I have no room at all. Yes, we can.
Just multiply.
Why do you look so mad?
Why 20?
Because this is 36 and then plus 9 and then subtract 25.
Oh, I didn't know it was supposed to subtract.
Got to set it equal to 0.
I think I got it right.
That's it. I got it right.
Okay.
Subtract the 25?
It does.
Okay, so squared is x.
Yes. And so the x squared comes first, and then the y squared, then the x, then the y, then the constant. And the x squared and the y squared, there's no number in front of it, so I know it's a circle. Okay. Next. If I'm given a center at negative 6, 11, and it's tangent to the y-axis. First of all, what does tangent to the y-axis mean? It doesn't. It's perpendicular. So, okay, so if that's the center, the tangent is perpendicular to the y-axis, so what is that? Right here. It's the radius. So, how long is the radius? 6. So I can write the formula. And so that's standard form. If I ask for general form, what do you have to do? You have to multiply it out. Let's not do that. You're welcome. Okay, here we go. Okay, I have 2 examples left to do, so pay attention. All right, first of all, I'm given the general form right here, and I want to write it in standard form. So to write it in standard form, you're going to put the x's together and the y's together. So I'm going to do x squared minus 6x and leave a space. And I'm going to move the 12 to the other side. And we're going to complete the square to do this. So this is b over 2 squared to complete the square. So negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3 squared is 9. So I'm going to add 9. Yes. What? Some. I'd have to study to do it. So 4 divided by 2 is 2 squared gives me 4. So I have to have 4 here also. So after you do the b over 2 step, now it's just, we're going to write them as perfect squares. So to do that, I'm going to get b divided by 2. So it's x minus 3 squared. This is b divided by 2 here, which is going to be y plus 2 squared. And then 12 and 9 and 4 is 25. Okay, so there's one more example. Do you want to complete the square first, or we also have to find the x and y intercepts? Do you want to complete the square on the other one and then do the x and y intercepts at the same time? Okay, let's do that. So on the next one, so on the second one, again, we have to complete the square, but oh, this is a typo, first of all. So these have a 2 in front of it. Can we have a 2 in front of it? No. All right, so watch. So we already said I can't have a 2 in front, so I'm going to divide out a 2. Just right in front here. Just start right there. So I'm going to complete the square right here. So b divided by 2 is 9. So I'm going to put plus 9. But how much did I really add?
Like 18.
I added 18, right? I added 2 times 9. So I'm going to add 18 over here. And when I factor out the 2 here, so b divided by 2 is 1, 1 squared. So I'm adding 1, but how much did I really add? 2. So I added 2.
Is that plus or minus 1 or is that a 1 on top of the line?
A 1. Okay? So now I have this. And we said in standard form, I can't have a 2. So I'm going to go through and just divide by 2. So that puts it in standard form now. So the last 2 things we have to do is find the x and the y intercept. So I'm going to go back to the other example first. So for the x-intercept, the y has to equal 0. For the y-intercept, the x equals 0. What? I'm on A. Okay. So in this equation right here, I'm going to make this y equal to 0. Okay? So if I make this 0, what do I have here? So I get 2 squared, which is 4, right? So I'm going to have x minus 3 squared plus 4 is 21. Subtract the 4. Oh, wait, this is 25, sorry. I was subtracting in my head. So I'm going to subtract the 4. And how do I get rid of the square root?
Square. There's no space for it.
There isn't. So I'm just going to leave it like that. And to solve for x, I'm going to add the 3. So if I'm going to write the x-intercept, I'm just going to write this and put a 0 next to it. So to find the y-intercept this time, I'm going to make x equals 0. So if I make x equals 0, what do I get over here? Negative 3 squared, which is 9. Subtract the 9. And when I take the square root this time, so this time they're whole numbers, so it's plus and minus 4. So my y is going to equal 2 plus and minus 4. So 2 plus 4 is going to give me 6, and 2 minus 4 gives me a negative 2.
Probably better when I look down.
So if we're going to do the same thing, if I'm going to find the x-intercept, I'm going to make the y 0. So if I subtract the 1, I get 0. And if I take the square root, I get x minus 3 equals 0.
Plus or minus.
It's not, because this is 0. Oh. I'm like, wait. Stop. Okay, so here I made the y 0. And to find the y-intercept,
9 plus 1 plus 1.
I'm going to make which one 0? So I'm going to get 9 plus y plus 1. And if I subtract the 9, what happens?
You get negative 8.
Can I take the square root of a negative 8? So there is none.